Okay, so hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is a really special show where I have to win. Okay, I'm praying to the gods. Mama, mama. Okay, I have to win this one because last time we did this, where we speculated on comics. A year later, we checked how we spec on the how our specs performed, and Mark actually did better than I did, and that's it just doesn't even make sense. There is something wrong with the universe. So we have to. This is where I have to win. I have to win. I like this is all about me winning. So so I'm going to give you some amazing specs. These are specs that I wouldn't even tell my children. That's how great they are. These are the ones that you're gonna risk your life betting on these specs because they're so great. So hopefully this time I can win. So without further ado, we're gonna show our like six specs, three on this show and three on the Mark show, and hopefully I win. Okay, so Mark, what's your first spec?
Right. Okay. So this year I found it quite easy to do this because the market has been in severe decline. So I have picked comics which are way, way off their peaks and which I think are just about at the bottom of the market. And I've
Mhm.
judged that by looking at the price compared to their price pre 2020, last year's peak. And if they've just about hit the same price as they were 2 years ago, I reckon they're at about the bottom and the only way is up. I could
Okay.
be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay. So, yes, so I am the current king of spec between, um, and we will be judging this next December. And the person who gets the biggest increase or the least decrease in value of those spec comics will be the winner. Okay, so I'm going to be quite specific in mine about the grades and the current values. Okay, which have come off Go Collect as fair market value. So my first comic is it's quite a big comic. It's and I've recently acquired two copies of this. I am
Oh
intending
wow.
to get them graded because I think one of them is a 9.8 candidate. And it is X-Men 129.
Okay.
Okay, this
Interesting choice.
peaked in May 2021 at a 9.0. So I'm going to say 9.0 as the grade.
Okay.
Okay. And a 9.0 peaked at $870 in May 21. This is now, you can now get this. The fair market value is now $300. And actually, the lowest sale recently was $250. But currently, the fair market value says $300. So there you go. And Uncanny X-Men 129, first appearance of Kitty Pryde, first appearance of Emma Frost, first appearance of Sebastian Shaw, first appearance of the Hellfire Club. It's a
Yeah.
pretty key comic. Writer Chris Claremont. This is a key. Okay,
Yeah.
it's come down from $870 to $300 in a CGC 9.0. I suggest anything in the nines is fine, but if you want a lowish entry point, $370, I think this has reached its bottom, and I
Mhm.
think it will go up, especially if we get any news about the X-Men coming into the MCU. So there you go. That's my first pick, X-Men
Very good.
129 in a 9.0.
Very good pick. So I was kind of thinking the same lines. So that's actually kind of interesting. So we're both thinking in the same kind of lines. And my first book is kind of the same idea, same exact idea that I was thinking, okay, what books have really tanked? Just totally like maybe like 50, 60%
Yeah,
off
yeah,
their game.
yeah,
And but also what books are not only have tanked, but have something that's coming up,
yeah.
something that's going to pull it back up from the
Okay, we're
way.
both thinking the same thing, so I hope we haven't got the same comics.
So I was thinking about this one. One sec.
Oh,
Do you see it?
okay. Okay.
This is like my copy. Somebody cut the coupon out, um, but it's Fantastic Four 48.
Wow, big book.
And this is the first appearance of the Silver Surfer,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like a cameo appearance of Galactus. But it's, a key book. It's just a major key, blue chip kind of level book, and it's totally off its game. I don't know the stats, like I didn't look them up. Like I was just more focused on
I will,
completion.
if you haven't got the FMVs. So are you saying this grade? What grade is that?
I'm saying a 3.5 since that's
Three
what I
five.
have.
Okay, I
Okay.
think that's the same as the grade I've got for that. No, I think was mine a bit higher. I think mine might be a five actually.
Okay.
Mine's
Well,
a
okay.
five, yeah.
Good for you.
I will on the edit. I will put up the current fair market value for a 3.5.
Yeah. No, it's a great book. I didn't pay that much for it because it is a green label, but is one I believe in. I believe in this book in general, like as a long-term spec, even if it continues to go
It's
down.
a blue chip comic, Alan. It's
Yeah.
you're not
So
going to lose money on that in the long term.
there was a warehouse find of these books. So my second spec will kind of relate to this one, but yeah. So I think this is a good pick. There is Fantastic Fours coming up, so it's going to reheat up these books, I believe, and I think it'll go back to. I don't know if it'll reach the highs that it did under, in 2021, but I think it'll definitely go up.
I think it might. Did you see
Mhm.
there was a Fantastic Four 49? There was a record sale at Heritage last week of $182,000 for a 40.
Well, okay, my next book is. Don't
Oh, sorry.
don't tell them. Okay, so okay, so yeah, so this is my first one, and we'll do it. Leave it there for now. Okay.
Okay. Now, my next book has plummeted
Okay.
from its high sale. So this book had a high sale of 1,002. I'm talking about 9.8 here. So this is a CGC
Mhm.
9.8. And has plummeted from its top sale in October 21, which sold for $1,247. And today you can pick one up. There's actually one on US eBay. I saw it this morning for $348. So that's
Wow.
lost 70 to 80% of its value. But what's even more amazing about this is this is one of the ones I think is going to get a second series, and it's
Oh,
Moon
okay.
Knight. So Moon Knight one.
Yeah.
This has dropped from $1,200 down to $348. You can go buy 9.8 of this now for less than what it was uh, before the peak even started. Okay.
Hmm.
With the second series coming up, I thought this was one of the better Marvel series. It was the third best performing in terms of viewer numbers. Um, so I think we're going to get something else. Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac was seen with other cast members in Cairo earlier this year doing something. Whether it was another Moon Knight series or whether it's a film, I don't know. But I think there's going to be another Moon Knight. So now is the time to go out and buy your CGC 9.8 copy. I was extremely tempted this morning with that $348 for a 9.8 of this.
That is a good price, I think. I mean, wasn't it? It was closer to how? What was its peak?
1,247.
I knew it was over $1,000 book. So, geez, that's so sad that it's dropped so much.
So there you go.
Wow.
That's my second pick. And it's all about timing. Spec is all about timing. I think this
Hmm.
has hit the bottom. And I think potentially with more news about Moon Knight next year, by the time we get to next December, this will be on the up again. It won't have got to 1,247, but even if it's gone up to 500, you've made 100 130, $140.
Very good
So
choice.
we will see what happens to that one.
Okay. So I realized that I could have shown the 49. I could have shown the 49. So
Yeah.
my first spec was either one, actually. So, but my second, so really, actually, my first spec was 49 and 48. I think they're both good books. But my second spec is an interesting one. And this one, actually is suffering right now. Well, it's kind of it's all over the place, believe it or not. This is a book where it is very volatile, and it's one that we know that there's something happening, and it's one of those movies where it's been in production hell,
Oh, okay.
and it's one where it's a character that people love. They love this character, but the movie, like I think the main star is like almost going to walk off the film. The director is like they got rid of the director and they're like going all over the place. And so the book, people love it, but they also like don't know if it's a good spec anymore, and so it's tanking kind of. It's kind of in that all over the place kind of market. So the one I'm going to recommend is Tomb of Dracula #10. This
Okay.
is the
Yeah.
first appearance of Blade,
Blade, yes. Okay.
character I like. I really love the original Wesley Snipes version.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I thought it was really great. I think it's slated to come out in 2024 now. Okay. So the reason I picked this one is 2023, when we kind of review this thing, there might be some trailers, there might be some that kind of release kind of going on, and it will go up in value. Right now, it's kind of in a weird limbo kind of state, but 2023, we'll know more. We'll know more, and I think it will kind of recover. So I think it's one of those books that I like, books that have kind of tanked from the 2021 highs, and ones that have that potential to go back up because there's something coming out. There's something going to drive this book up. So this is my choice for #2. This is Tomb of Dracula #10. Great book. I
I think
love this
that's
book,
quite
and
good.
I'll pick it in a 5.0 as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's
5.0.
quite a good pick, actually, Alan. I'm thinking you might do well on that one.
Okay, so those are my first two. My first one is kind of 49 and 48, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm now going to pick a book that caused Alan to lose the 2022 competition, or was one similar book.
Okay.
He picked a Secret Wars book, the first appearance of Titania, which
Okay.
when you selected it, it was $300. And when we reviewed it last week, it was $100.
You're gonna pick it again? You're gonna pick it
I'm
because
not
it's
going to pick
better.
the same one. I'm picking I'm picking a comic of the same Secret Wars, but it's
Series?
one of my favorite covers. So I always think it's great when you've got a comic that you really like the cover as well. So, and it's done really badly as well as the Titania one. Okay, so this is Secret Wars #4. I've got about
Oh, I love that
I've got
cover.
about 6 copies of this. I just buy it whenever I see it. Okay,
Yeah,
this is the one where Hulk is holding up the
the
mount.
world basically.
And it's holding up 150 billion tons, and he's not happy.
Yeah,
I just love this cover. Now then, at its peak, so I'm talking about a 9.8 here. Yeah, so I'm talking about CGC 9.8. Peaked in November last year. So just 1 year ago, if you went out and bought a 9.8 of this, you would have paid $326. Okay.
Okay.
The current fair market value is $62.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. And a 9.8.
And a 9.8. So
That's insane.
it's crazy. Utterly crazy. So this has actually done worse than your Titania one, which went from $300 to $100.
So that makes it a great pick, actually. It
Yeah.
does, because it does even make sense when it's that low. It's almost like that's the cost of getting it slabbed.
Yeah. So there we go. Secret Wars #4. We've got a Secret Wars thingy coming up on Marvel, haven't we? I don't know whether it's going to be this one or something else, but
yeah,
if it's this one, this first series of Secret Wars is going to do well. In fact, I would advise you actually any of the secret. They've all tanked. The whole Secret Wars #1 set,
whole set
has tanked. Go and buy them.
Yeah.
For me, it was the first sort of first one of these which was linking across different, linking across. It's a really good story. The covers are great, and it's tanked. The whole lot has tanked. Now's the time to go and buy these. This is one of my favorites. I like the Doom cover as well, but that hasn't tanked as much. Actually, the Doom cover is the one that hasn't really tanked because
everybody loves Doom. about
Everybody
the
loves
Doom?
Doom, so it hasn't
Yeah.
tanked as much. But other than the Doom cover, they've all come down significantly. So there you go. That's my third pick. Secret
Wow.
Wars, number
That's
four,
a
9-8.
that's a really almost like a great find that you found something where the value is almost insanely low, where it hit the floor and kind of kept on going. It just kept on going down. To pick up for $60 would be insane.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be great. That's a great, like I'll even look for that because it's worth getting that 9.8 in that for
yeah,
that price.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um, so the next book on my spec one, I literally bought um, when we started recording this video. And it's actually two books. One of them I have, but the second one I don't have. The first book, and I'll have to get you to show it, maybe do the little thingy, is Legion of Superheroes number 300.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're not familiar with that book, it has a big splash page in the middle. And the splash page has a picture of Garfield on it.
Ah, yes, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's Garfield's first cameo appearance in comics.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's a book that I would kind of recommend. But the book that I'm specking on is actually from Kaboom Studios, and they produced a book called Garfield Number One. And according to Key Collector, it's a $3 book. Okay, and we're going to go with that pricing because
We're not going with that price. We're going with the price you just paid for it.
I just paid. Well, I got two copies, so I paid $12. Okay, plus shipping. But it is a book that I think is undervalued. I think it's just and there's a Garfield movie coming up in 2024.
Oh, is there? Okay, this is good.
Yeah, so there's a little reason for why I chose this
Well, I
one.
will be going out and looking for one of these on UK eBay as soon as we finish this.
Yeah, well, somebody told you that there's a UK one. But it's a good book. It's a cheap spec. Like as I said, it's in that under $10 kind of range. Okay. And it's a good one because not only it's one that anyone from my generation uh, or even maybe a little bit younger than my generation will appreciate because it's got that nostalgia feel, and I always like books that have that nostalgia feel. So it's a book that I think people will go to, for that nostalgia feel, especially if there's a movie announcement. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to bring my kids to this movie. Oh, I'm thinking, I should have that book in my hand." So I think it's a good book for a cheap spec. I don't think it's going to go to $1 million or anything like that, but I know that Kaboom Studios, their print runs are really low, and that makes it even better. So I think there's a bunch of things for this book. I think it's a good one. So it's just Garfield Number One from Kaboom Studios, 2012. So that's
Right.
my
I'm
spec.
definitely going to look for that. And I think that's a very good spec.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That was pretty good,
So that's
Alex.
it.
That's it.
That's
We've
our
picked up
three.
our three
Um,
comics there. So fingers crossed. Alan's now going to go up and buy every single copy of Garfield 1.
Number one, it's going to be a rare book. It's a rare book because there's just none available. And but I know somebody that has it. So but yeah, so we're gonna do three more spec each on Mark's channel, and I recommend you go over there because the ones I'm gonna spec on are gonna be really awesome. Mark's gonna come up with some stuff too, but it might be okay. But I'm gonna show some really awesome stuff on Mark's channel. So you gotta go over there, you gotta check out his channel. Click the link below. Also, I link in the description. So both places goes to Mark's channel. Go over there, check it out. And thanks again, Mark, by the way. It was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Alan. I think we've got some good ones this year. I think we'll be
Yeah,
making money this year.
I'm going to be buying some of the ones that you suggested. So I think you chose really well. I'm actually kind of nervous because you chose so well. But okay, thanks again. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.